Have a seat. As you can tell, I am not David. I'm not Father Dave. Father Dave had a family emergency and needed to be elsewhere on a Maundy Thursday. That is very fitting for him to be at. I will not disclose anything else, but to say, please pray for him and Charles. Finding out you're preaching 25 minutes before Maundy Thursday during Holy Week is a lot like finding out you're preaching in January and knowing the schedule in November. Just is what it is. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's ugly. I don't know what tonight will be, but let's figure it out together, shall we? Anybody in here have enemies? Raising hands. Like true enemies? Like, I'm talking real enemies. Not people you don't like. So let's back it up. Anybody in here have somebody they don't like? If you don't raise your hand, you are wrong. Everybody doesn't like somebody, except for Nicole. And that's because I have to go home with her. Get to go home with her. I'm going to go. So we have enemies. We've said this. Does everybody in here like every single person they've ever come in contact with? Do you agree with every single person you have ever come in contact with? Are you sure? I thought we were all the same mind here. Oh, well, that's awesome. So we have enemies. We have frenemies. Y'all know what that term is? It's what Mark and Melissa and I are during baseball season. It's what Deacon Dion and I are every single day. So we have enemies and frenemies. We have people we dislike, people we don't want to. What about people you just don't want to be around? You have them? Yeah. Like if you go to a party and your spouse tells you, oh, so-and-so is going to be there. And you're like, you accidentally hit the curb, get a flat tire, jump out of the car and disappear into a taxi. Is that just me? Oh, okay. And then when you get to a place and you don't want to be around certain people and you see that they're there, do you find a corner or a coat closet or an escape hatch? If it's a submarine, I don't know why you're in a submarine, but here we are. So we have enemies and frenemies. We have people we dislike. We have people that we don't want to be around. All right. Do you like anybody? You do? Hooray. How you feel about washing their feet? Yeah, there's a hard no somewhere back there. Yeah, that's you, right? You might as well, camera lady, raise your hand. I'm going to call you out in front of everybody. You like washing people's feet? Hard pass, right? Yeah, not fun. Jesus does something completely unexpected. I don't know when I will die. I don't know. But I can tell you this, if I did know when I was going to die and I was having my last meal, the last thing on my mind would be to wash all of your feet. I wish I could laugh about it. I'm kind of laughing about it because it's just preposterous to me. Like, all right, guys, I've got 2 days. So everybody line up. I'm going to wash your feet. That's not how I'm trying to spend my last night with my friends. That's how good Jesus is. Now, one of you is the cause of my death. I'm not Jesus. I know I'm not Jesus. I'm not putting myself in that place because I think I'm Jesus. Can we just get that out there? Fantastic. Let me continue. So, one of you, it's probably Lance, is responsible for me dying. Right. Checks out. Yeah. So, Lance is going to come up and I'm going to wash his feet too. If you knew who was going to kill you, would you wash their feet? You won't even wash the feet of a neighbor that like mowed over just this much on your yard. Right? What about somebody who's an OU fan? Ed Sturm, you going to wash anybody's feet that's an OU fan? You're not. Nobody cares about Tennessee. So we watch you because it's just dirty to be a fan. So I think that you'll get a chance on Saturday. I think my point is this, I want to make light of tonight, but here's where it turns. Here's where it gets hard. We have people in this world that we think we're better than, and everybody in here immediately wants to squint and go, no, I don't. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, I do. It's human nature. At least we're not like them. At least we don't do that. At least in my house, we do this. Well, I was raised better than that. Bless your heart. That's just Southern for calling somebody stupid. Don't ever say that to me, by the way, because I was raised by a Southern woman, not my mother, my grandmother. Oh, bless your heart. If you call me dumb one more time, Grandine. But we're around these people, and it's hard to be around them. And we do a pretty good job of avoiding them. We do a great job of avoiding them. We block them on Facebook. We block their phone numbers from coming in. We don't give them our email addresses. We don't tell them where we're going to be. We don't invite them to things, even though they're in the circles. We're pretty good at making sure that we're pretty safe, aren't we? Pretty safe from people we don't want to be around. And then we come to church and we put on our best faces and we kneel at the altar together and we nod during the sermon. And I don't know if you're nodding off or agreeing or just wanting me to hurry. I know what you're doing. But we come here and we have this moment of holiness where we just feel good. Does anybody not feel good when they leave church? I really hope none of you leave church going, good Lord, I felt worse coming out than I did going in. If you do, please come and talk to me. I will apologize profusely for Deacon Dion's behavior. That's it. That's all I have. I'm done. But I think the big thing is we really do feel that way. We feel better when we're in church, don't we? I mean, I do. You're here for a reason, right? You're here because you want to hear something useful about Christ. And I'm getting there eventually. But when we leave these doors, what happens? Is there some kind of weird portal that shimmers over that door that when we walk through it inside, we're changed? And then when we walk out, we forget everything we just did? I got to ask that question. I got to be serious about it because it's real. We say the church is leaving the building every time everybody leaves. And yet, if that's the church that's leaving, I don't know that I want to be a part of the church anymore because of the way we treat each other, because of the way we judge each other. Even inside the church, the music was too slow, it was too loud, the sermon was too long, it was too short. I wish you would have said more about this or that. Nobody says anything about the altar guild because we're all terrified of June. But think about it. Everybody has an opinion about something, even in a holy place where we're supposed to come together and be together and love our neighbors as love one another as Christ loved. How we doing? How we doing? Who is Judas in your life? I want you to think about that for a moment. Who is Judas in your life? Every one of you just had somebody pop up in your mind. Every single one of you. Would you wash their feet? I got to ask you this because I got to ask myself. Would you wash the feet of the one you know who would betray you, the one who has hate in their heart for you, the one who has been instilled with the devil? Would you wash their feet? What about the stranger on the road who can't afford to eat, can't afford a shower, has dirty clothes, and probably has a mental handicap, disability, if they came up and tried to talk to you, would you wash their feet with your words? What about the person at work who's just always rude, always in a bad mood? But we don't know what's going on in their life, do we? We don't know if they're mistreated, if they're being beaten at home, verbally or physically. Would you wash their feet because they're a jerk every day? What about the person who disagrees with your theology completely? Would you wash their feet? If someone from the Nation of Islam walked in, would you wash their feet? If a Jew walked in, would you wash their feet? If a Hindu walked in, would you wash their feet? I think we would do those things, but in the back of our mind, we'd be saying, you're wrong, instead of just washing their feet. Jesus didn't ask anything of his disciples except for this: take notice of what I do for you now so that you may do it for others. He didn't say, I'm doing this because, he said, you have no idea what I've just done for you, didn't he? He didn't even explain it because he knew they didn't get it. But I think I have an idea because I have the book. I think Jesus was baptizing his disciples. I think he was washing them clean, sending them out to do the work that he was doing. Does that sound familiar to you? Are we doing that work? Ask yourselves, as I ask myself, am I really doing that work? Am I making fun of people behind closed doors? Am I being rude to people because I'm hurting? Am I making every situation about me instead of hearing the person across from me? Am I making my loved ones' lives harder because I refuse to see myself as I am? Am I willing to have my feet washed because I'm willing to admit that I am unclean? And then am I willing to have the grace to do it for somebody else, no matter what they've done to me? That's what the Easter message is. That's what this service that goes from Thursday to Sunday is. It is a journey of understanding our enemies as ourselves and loving them, not liking them, loving them. It is respecting the dignity of every human being. It is spreading by word and example the good news of Jesus Christ. It is taking into account anything that could possibly be going on with anyone at any time and saying, you know what? I still see Christ in you. It may be very far away, but I see it because you're a child of God. Anything less is narcissism on our part, and we are wrong for doing it. And I want to be very clear about that. I don't care what's occurred, because I've been hurt pretty deeply in my life too. And yet, we choose to wash. And we don't wash in blood of our enemies, but we wash with the waters of refreshment and salvation. If we say that we believe in Jesus Christ, and if we say that we are going to come here and be Christians, then let us be Christians. And let that last line ring through your head. They will know who you are by what you do. Because believe me, people are watching. What are they seeing?